Let's talk about arboviral encephalitis, infections of the brain caused by viruses spread through blood-feeding insects. The term arbovirus literally means arthropod-borne virus. These viruses are carried by mosquitoes, ticks, and other biting insects, but in North America, the mosquito is the main culprit. The transmission cycle involves the insect vector and an animal or human host. Infections tend to show up seasonally, usually in the summer and early fall when mosquito activity is highest. In the United States, there are 5 major types we worry about: Eastern Equine Encephalitis, EE, Western Equine Encephalitis, WEE, St. Louis Encephalitis, SLE, Crosse Encephalitis, LAC, West Nile Virus, WNV. Pathophysiology. Here's what happens in the body. The virus first replicates right at the site of the mosquito bite. If the immune system can't keep it in check, the virus spreads into the bloodstream. That's called viremia. From there, it can make its way into the central nervous system, often through the olfactory tract. Once in the brain, the virus spreads from neuron to neuron, especially affecting the cortical gray matter, the brainstem, and the thalamus. To make things worse, the infection triggers inflammation of the meninges, leading to meningeal irritation and an increase in intracranial pressure, ICP. Clinical manifestations. Symptoms can range widely. Some people have only mild flu-like illness, while others develop serious neurologic disease. The general early symptoms include sudden fever, headache, dizziness, nausea, and malaise. If the infection progresses to the central nervous system, we see stiff neck, confusion, tremors, seizures, or even coma in severe cases. A unique feature with arboviral encephalitis is the development of SIADH, which leads to low sodium hyponatremia. In terms of severity, Eastern Equine Encephalitis is the deadliest, with about a 50% mortality rate. West Nile and St. Louis encephalitis are more common, especially in adults, but tend to be less lethal. Assessment and diagnosis. Diagnosis starts with a good history. Think about the season, summer, fall, geographic area, and any recent travel. Imaging and labs help confirm. MRI, inflammation patterns, basal ganglia in St. Louis, paraventricular region in West Nile. CSF, evidence of inflammation. EEG can show abnormal brainwaves, sometimes characteristic of certain viruses. Medical management. Unfortunately, there's no specific antiviral treatment for arboviral encephalitis. Management is supportive. The main goals are to control symptoms, manage increased intracranial pressure, prevent complications such as falls, seizures, and infections. Nursing management. Nursing care depends on how sick the patient is. Mild cases with just fever and headache may be managed as outpatients. Severe cases with neurologic symptoms require hospitalization. Nursing responsibilities include careful neurologic assessment for changes in condition, seizure and fall precautions, providing emotional support to patients and families. It's important to remember that even survivors may be left with long-term neurologic deficits or seizure disorders, so family education and community resources are crucial. Public health and prevention. Since there's no cure, prevention is key. Nurses play an important role in patient and community education. Teach people to wear protective clothing outdoors. Use insect repellents with 20 to 35% DEET. Stay indoors at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Repair window and door screens. Eliminate standing water around the home where mosquitoes breed. And finally, all confirmed cases of arboviral encephalitis must be reported to the local health department.